Hi, hello, and we're back with another episode of the Square Thoughts. And since our motto is no BS, so we are going to present a real life case study of on inbound marketing, just to close off our series on inbound versus outbound. And with me is Shawar Javed. Hi, Shawar, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you, Zanera?
I am perfect. Thank you so much. So, Shawar is the CEO of Mile Now, which is a logistics platform that's aiming to transform the logistics industry by simplifying deliveries, and their footprint is essentially everywhere within the GCC, and now they're actively expanding to different regions of the world as well. So, Mile Now is bound to disrupt the logistics industry, right, Shawar? Would you agree with that?
Yes, inshallah. With full focus and full throttle.
Absolutely. No, no. I think that your journey since we've been part of it has been phenomenal, and we wish you the best of luck going forward as well.
Thank you.
So I think let's start off with a meet cute story. So Shawara and I met at Jitex, where obviously the SquarePeg had a booth, and I believe that one of the main challenges, and I obviously asked Shawara to expand on it, was that while they were investing quite heavily in outbound marketing, but they had yet to really dip their toes into inbound, which is why we connected and we started working together. So it's been almost 1.5 years now since we've been
Yes.
working together. So Shawar, can you elaborate what were the challenges or what were your priorities when when we started back off in, I think, November 2023?
Yeah, so actually, we started Mile back in 2019, 2018. And before that, we were just building the product and we were just focused. Starting 2019, we started shipping the product. We were just focused on building our revenue, getting our customers. I always knew inbound is kind of slow. It will take time to build up. And I didn't have time to do that. I'm a marketer myself. And I knew how that was going to work. Single handedly, I could never do it. So I parked that idea and I quickly moved on to PPC and paid marketing, just so that quickly we can get some customers in and, start selling. And because of that, obviously, our SEO and organic traffic, everything was suffering. Social media pages were live, but they were not active as such. We would randomly post a New Year post or maybe, any other festivity that, we're celebrating in the region. We'd post about that. But that was about it. It wasn't really something that, we were putting an effort in. 2023, when we met you, that was the time we were like internally sitting and discussing, me and my co-founder, we really need to build a vortex of bringing the people in, which is like is invisible, and people are still seeing us and they need to know about us more other than the PPC, which obviously was getting exhausted by that time. So I mean, I'm glad that I met you. I was very, I wasn't really sure if an outsourced team would be able to do it or not. I really wanted to have people sitting around right in front of me and doing it for me, but I knew I didn't have that kind of time. I was busy with other stuff as well, as it happens in the startup. So yeah, the discussion started from there with you, and the rest is the history. You know how we worked on it. Good part about meeting you was that you from day one were understanding what we wanted to do. You got a hang of our product, which is the key when it comes to inbound
Yeah,
marketing. Your
absolutely.
partner team, it doesn't matter if it's in-house or it's outsourced, really need to understand your product. And since we are a B2B company, it's kind of tricky. For a consumer product, doing an inbound marketing is very easy and very simple. But finding
Absolutely.
somebody who
Yeah.
can actually understand the B2B dynamics and do things like rather quickly, that's challenging. So that's where I think that was interesting that SquarePeg already had, and you had like, extensive experience with B2B customers. So we thought, yeah, let's give it a go. Initially, it was like, okay, we'll check out for 3 months. If it doesn't work out, maybe, we'll get an in-house team. But now
Yeah.
I think for us, SquarePeg is like our extension. I mean, we have weekly meetings, even sometimes bi-weekly, and even more.
Yeah.
And it's always like it's like our extension that's working with us. So yeah, it's going great so far.
Thank you so much, Shawar. And I think that this is something I would want to highlight, that at the end of the day, marketing is a partnership, right? No
Yeah.
marketing team can do anything if there's not enough feedback coming in from the company owners or the brand owners or the founders. So I feel that that's, those meetings, they keep us on our toes as well. And then, the constant feedback loop, it helps us keep improving, because at the end of the day, there is no fixed formula. Every company, every market, every brand, everything is different. So you have to keep tweaking, re-strategizing, and that can only be done if there are regular touch points between the company owners and the marketing team. And also I feel that for a scale up, the stage where you're at right now, the
Yeah.
value proposition also keeps modifying. So the domain knowledge is not a finite um, piece of information that you can convey to the team. As your product grows and your value proposition changes, your marketing team needs to be informed accordingly. Otherwise, you'll be going this way and the marketing team would be going that way. So I think that's fairly important.
Exactly, exactly. And to add to that, Zonera, that's where businesses and marketing fail, and,
Yeah,
and they blame marketing team. I mean, marketing is not performing. We're not getting any leads. We are not seeing any results. Marketing is a very slow process that builds over time.
yeah,
And I believe sales and marketing are two teams that have to work hand in hand. Now, for us, it was like sales team. I'm looking at sales teams directly, and I'm talking to you guys. So I get the feedback from my sales team. I bring it to
yeah,
you guys, and we align our messaging. And whatever we are sending out as the marketing message, I have to take it back to my sales team. My sales resources need to know this is what we're talking about.
yes,
This is
yes.
how we are talking about. These are the jargons that our customers are understanding. So it's the key. Understanding your ICP, your ideal customer profile. That's the key when it comes to a fluent marketing effort.
No, no, absolutely. I think that this rapport that we've established, it can be intense at times, but I think that that's required, right? Because you have to, this actually keeps challenging your team as well, and you don't become complacent because you understand that the company owners are as involved in the business, and as I said, that it's a partnership. So I think that moving on, Shawar, I think that one of the three key areas that we really worked on and we're working on with you in terms of inbound are the social media, content development, and SEO. So I think that starting off with social media, uh, can you sort of highlight that the changes that we have made? How has it impacted the way Mile connects with its audience? If you could highlight that.
See, social media is a must, anyways, nowadays. That's like your character of your company. People would
Yeah,
go and check out your social profiles. They want to see what kind of company you are, what do you offer. That's like a more informal way of getting in touch with the company. Now, if your social media pages are dead, like really dead, people would think maybe you're not actively marketing, or maybe you're not actively working, or maybe you don't have
yeah,
enough people to support that. There are 1,000 ideas that come to their minds. So a good active social media profile really helps. The followers and the likes and everything that happens over time, but don't
yeah,
keep your social media pages dead. For us, that was like sort of dead, I would say, because we would post whenever we could. We couldn't do
yeah,
it like on a calendar basis. We didn't have like a social media calendar or anything. Now that we have that, people actually see what we are posting, especially on LinkedIn, I would say, because it's a
yeah,
B2B, obviously, B2B business model. More of our customers and people that we are in touch with are on LinkedIn, so they see that. Another thing that we started after getting in touch with SquarePeg was our personal branding on social media.
yes,
So we are doing it
yes,
primarily on LinkedIn. I'm not a very podcast camera person, as you know, and I mean, I know you, I get a lot of ideas from you guys, but I'm still not there yet. But we are posting our event pictures, we're taking it seriously, we're meeting people, and then we're tagging them. So it's like a whole cycle that works for you. It brings the people back to you, it shows your face to your audience,
yeah,
and then they
yeah,
believe that, all right, this is the person and this is what they are selling. So people come and check
yeah,
out your personal profiles as founders. They will check out the profiles of your team members. They check out the profile of the company. They want to see you're regularly posting, even if they like or they don't like, they still check
yeah,
it. And you know it
absolutely.
from the number of views that you are getting. So likes is
Yeah,
one thing, but then you have the graph and you can check how many impressions did I get, how many views did I
yeah,
get. If I'm getting good
absolutely.
impression and views, that goes to show, yeah, people are still checking me out, and I'm out there. And if you're not, then obviously the algorithms are changing constantly for social media.
Yeah.
If you're not up to speed, if you kind of just stop posting,
Yeah.
you'll be left behind. So these are a couple of things that we focused on, that we worked on over the last 1.5 year, I would say now,
Yeah.
almost 1.5 year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and obviously that's paying off. That's paying off a
Yeah.
lot.
No, and I think that one thing that I would highlight, like to highlight here, is that where you mentioned personal branding. So I remember that in our initial meeting, your co-founder Fawad was a little bit hesitant about, putting himself out there, and he was like that, I don't want to do that, and I feel that, he has also really, expanded himself in that sense that, I see him, out there on LinkedIn, putting himself out there.
Yeah.
He's obviously writing newsletters, he's posting thought leadership posts. So there are lots of things that he is doing, which I feel that, because, for B2B, even if you look at yourself as a B2B purchaser, you will definitely go and investigate the company on LinkedIn. At least, like, you'll go and see, who are the co-founders, what are they up to, or is this company even authentic, do their
Yeah.
profiles even exist, or, are they doing what they claim they are doing. So again, because it's an entire decision making unit that you have to convince, so that decision unit making unit will investigate you through omni channels, right? It'll not just
Yes.
be that, one touch point and they'll be like, bam, okay, let's start working. So I think that that's where personal branding plays a very, very important role.
100%, 100%. And it's like a global thing, right? You don't have to be
Yeah.
there sitting in front of their faces and
Yes.
introducing yourself. That used to happen years ago. Now, like,
Yeah.
people can just check out you as a person, the kind of
Yeah.
events you're attending, the kind of activities you're doing, the kind of people you're
Yes.
meeting.
Yeah.
A lot of the people, when they add us on LinkedIn, and they're like surprised, oh, you know this guy, you
Yeah.
found a mutual connection. And that
Yeah.
means a lot. That really means a lot
Yeah.
to actually break the ice and get us through to this person, and then they start listening to you. So definitely we have seen like wonderful, amazing things happening. Again, you might not see the likes, you might not see your followers
Yeah.
going up quickly within a year,
Yeah.
but the impressions and the feedback you're getting from people, that tells you it's working, so you keep
Yeah.
going. And you
Yeah.
need dedicated people. It cannot be like, on and off. You'll do it like, someday, and the other day you won't do it.
Yes.
You need to
Consistency.
have a scheduled calendar. You need to have defined uh, you know defined calendar to show you, when you have to post what, and it has to be well
Yes.
thought out. So it's a whole science
Absolutely.
that goes
Yeah.
behind that.
Absolutely. I think that speaking of science, this moves us to SEO, right? That's a huge part of what we're doing for you. And obviously, that includes content development, and then there's link building. And I think that for SEO, again, there was a point in time where we felt that, the keywords that you guys want to rank for, that's not working. And then we strategized. And I think that it was a learning curve for both of us to understand that, for organic ranking, it will take X amount of time
Yeah.
and X amount of effort. So I think that we are finally hitting 1.5 year down the road. We're finally hitting that sweet spot where we've seen Miles started ranking for relevant keywords. So, if you could let us know or elaborate a little bit more about, what were your expectations with SEO, and then how did you have to realign the expectations, and, the time and effort that went in, and, how it's working for you now.
Yeah, so SEO takes time. We knew that.
Yeah.
And we could never give that time, honestly. I mean, I tried a couple of things. People would come, people would give us consultation, but they would give us the shortcuts. Oh, do this, rank yourself in certain directories, and your SEO ranking would go up, and just give us like 3 months or 6 months, and nothing happened. We tried everything, because I personally didn't have time. I used to write
Yeah.
blogs back in the day when I was working
Yeah.
with other companies, because I was doing inbound marketing myself. So but I mean, I used to write blogs when literally when HubSpot was a blog post
Yeah.
itself. So I'm talking about those times, gold times. But so I love blogs. I know content works wonders. Content is amazing if it is thrown at the right time and at right intervals. I didn't have that time. I hired a couple of people, and they wouldn't understand what I really wanted. So it never worked. The SEO part was tough. I had to work on my web pages personally. I had to put my meta tags, meta descriptions, and whatnot, and I had to keep working. But alone, if you're just working on your website pages, that SEO is not going to help you. You have to build
Yes.
content around it, and that needs time. That needs a lot of
Yeah.
time. Content needs like a dedicated resource who's sitting and writing and understanding the kind of keywords. uh, I mean, I would say our keywords did start ranking in 22, a year before we met you guys.
Yeah.
But obviously, it was slow. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
our organic traffic was much less than our paid traffic. Obviously,
Yeah.
because we were running ads, we were getting most of our business even from global clients through our Google ads. So it was,
Yeah.
PPC was great. PPC was
Yeah.
doing amazing, but organic was just, we wouldn't list. Our competitors would list for certain keywords, and
Yeah.
we wouldn't even see mile for the next 10 pages in Google. And we were like, what the hell,
Absolutely.
how do we come on top? It would take
Yeah.
time, but who has that kind of time? I don't have that kind of
Absolutely.
time. And
Yeah.
whenever we get somebody on board and we tell them, it's a mess. It's all over the place. They just start writing guest posts for some weird kind of pages
Blogs.
that
Yeah.
nobody knows
Yeah.
about. So
Yeah.
I mean, strategy wasn't there. It was like we
Yeah.
just wanted to quickly try, because again, we were busy with so many other things. We couldn't give
Absolutely.
time to it.
Yeah.
Now what we do is we are writing content which is posted on our website on monthly and even weekly basis. We have not just the content that's going on the website, we have content that is in the form of newsletter that's going on LinkedIn. We have content that's going on other channels as well.
That's it. Yeah.
We have newsletters going out that we're introducing those content pieces to our people, and obviously that all that that this all vertex, I would say, that we built around our website
Yeah.
is now
Yeah.
has now started to show, and we are ranking for some really great keywords that
Yeah.
probably we weren't even trying for, but because
Yeah.
we had amazing text, we have good articles written about it, so we are showing, and we're showing on the front page. So I mean, that's amazing. And that, I mean, it's a journey. It keeps going.
Yeah.
So you keep
Absolutely.
writing, and you keep making sure, all right, now we are ranking for this word, we don't have to lose this position. So it's an
Yeah.
ongoing effort, but obviously that has helped us to gain more organic traffic, which
Yeah.
has almost doubled since if I check my organic traffic between 22 and 23, before
Yeah.
we were actually focused on our content marketing.
Yeah.
It's almost doubled this year,
Yeah.
last year. So, which is
Yeah.
great, which is amazing. It's unpaid. We're not even paying for it. It's the
Yeah.
direct or the organic traffic that's coming in. They're reading our articles. They're looking at our pages on Google or social media, and they're visiting us.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and we're
Yeah.
getting leads. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, and I always, in my mind, and I don't know whether you agree with me that, one organic inbound lead is worth, I don't know, at least 100 of your outbound leads, because I feel that if they've come to you organically, they're definitely much more qualified already. So I feel that that's why, although inbound is very slow, sometimes painfully slow, but I really feel that, it's worth the investment for sure.
It definitely is. It definitely, because you're investing a lot more in PPC, right? And then in PPC, there's a lot of competition out there.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
somebody is putting more money into ads and advertising, obviously their ad would show up and yours won't. So you have to,
Yes.
keep in check the budget as well, and not
Yeah.
always just increasing the budget and increasing the market share. It doesn't work that way in PPC. So PPC is a lot more scientific, a lot more time consuming. It's good to have a PPC strategy in place,
Yes.
but again, until you have that organic traffic built up for you.
Yeah.
So for us now, because organic is also working, we
Yeah.
have actually, taken some bucks out of our PPC marketing, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we were obviously spending a lot on that because
Yeah.
SEO wasn't working for us. We were still not
Yeah.
there. It takes time. Our competitors were working really hard on building their SEO strategies and
Yeah.
whatnot, and they were staying ahead of us. Now that we're
Absolutely.
doing that, it has given us some kind of cushion that we can pull a few
Take care.
plugs from the PPC
Yeah.
and just keep on investing in our organic marketing,
Yeah.
which is more subtle. I mean, it's not like
Yeah.
you're out there in people's faces, look at me,
Yeah.
I'm here,
Yeah.
I'm being suggested to you. You're
Yeah.
just there, and they check out
Yeah.
and they come to your page, and they make their decision, then they book the demos.
No, no, I think absolutely. And you know, I feel that for B2B specifically, PPC is always tricky because, again, as I said, it's a decision making unit. So maybe one of your decision maker would be on one platform, but then they, in order to convince the entire decision making unit, you have to have like that inbound, that brand equity or that brand awareness in place. So
Exactly.
PPC alone, even if you put in massive amount of budget, it will work up to a certain extent. And as you pointed out, that now it's so saturated that it's, and there's so much content out there that it's really really hard to stand out or create that top of the mind awareness that people know what Mile Now is, or people know who Shawar is, or people know who Fawad is. So I think that that's really important. So I think that that sort of, just to wrap things up, Shawar, it brings us to the last question. As a digital marketing agency, for most of our clients, we always recommend a mixture of inbound and outbound. But I
Mm.
do understand that a lot of startups, especially, are reluctant to invest in inbound because they don't see the efficacy of it. So, for
Yeah.
those companies out there, what would you like to say to them about the importance of inbound?
Well, okay, inbound is slow. You have to be patient with it. Find a good partner or hire resources if you can, but they
Yeah.
have to understand the inbound. They really have to understand your business. They have to understand your ICP. And they really have to talk to your ICP through the content. If they're not
Yes.
doing that, then inbound is failing. And then, you put a blanket statement that inbound doesn't work. It's not
Yeah.
that. It's the strategy that is not working. So you have to come up with the right strategy because inbound does work. Yes,
Yeah.
outbound is faster, inbound is slower, but inbound is more concrete. Your
Yes.
outbound becomes a lot more effective if you have a good inbound marketing in place.
Absolutely.
And then I would say always have an inbound sales team as well that is
Yeah.
supporting your inbound marketing efforts. So
100%.
anything and everything that is coming from the inbound leads, this inbound sales team can, then call them and check if the right ICP is being approached. And this feedback again is very crucial. You can bring it back to your marketing team, your inbound marketing team, and tell them, we have hit the jackpot. We are getting the right
Yeah.
ICPs now. So we are going to stick to
Yeah.
this message, or we need to tweak this message because maybe we are
Absolutely.
not reaching our right ICP. So it's not that, you'll put a team in silo or you can just put a few resources and you'll just tell them, just
100%.
keep doing whatever you're doing and I will not be involved. I think
Yeah.
inbound is something where founders really need to get involved, really,
Absolutely.
because they're the best ones who understand the ICP, they know their product, and they know what to shoot out in the market to get, and to see the market interest. Inbound is the perfect way to actually, get a huge market share without even spending a lot
Yeah.
of money.
Absolutely. No, Shawar, I thank you. I think that you've summed it up perfectly. And I feel that for you guys, you have a product that's at least differentiated. But for companies or even for ourselves, we're a service-based company, and it's not a highly differentiated service. Like, there are thousands of digital marketing agencies out there. So that's where inbound is the only thing that works, right? Even if we invest hundreds and thousands of dollars in PPC, it will not be effective because there are so many agencies doing the same thing. So I feel that,
Exactly.
especially for those startups whose product is not highly differentiated, or for those who are going for B2B, inbound is
Yes.
compulsory. Yes, if you, I don't know, maybe selling shoes, then maybe you could rely only on PPC. But
That's
for, yeah,
exactly, yeah, you're
yeah,
you're right, Janera. I'm so sorry to cut you off here because
that's fine.
this was
That's fine.
actually the pain point that we were
Yeah,
having. A
yeah,
B2B company needs really specialized agency to work on that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
our key question every time, if a resource is applying for the job, we would ask, have you worked on any B2B projects? Do you
yeah,
realize what a B2B needs? Because we're not selling a shoe, we're not selling a tangible
yeah.
product. It's a software that we
Yes,
are selling. And there's a
absolutely.
different kind of language that is used. There is a different way of keyword search that is being done. So you really need to have a specialized team with you that's working very closely with you, who understands the dynamic of B2B marketing and that understands the dynamic of inbound marketing. Do not
Yes.
confuse with the marketing agencies or resources who have done B2C or outbound marketing and expect them to handle your inbound or a B2B uh, market segment for you. They cannot do that. We have failed 1,000 times doing this,
Yeah.
trying to get this
Yeah.
done. And obviously, they'll offer you services a lot more cheaper, maybe, because
Yeah.
outbound it's easier. They will ask you, okay, pay us this
Yes.
much of money, and we'll get you from point A to point B. But that's not something that you're looking at. All right,
Yeah.
you can do outbound yourself as well. I'd be
Yes.
honest. I mean, PPC, if you get a hang of it, you don't need a person just sitting there and doing it for you. We've been doing it ourselves. It's not a big science, and it does not take a lot of time. Once you set up
Yeah.
your campaign, you just have to keep an eye on it, and just have to keep reviving it, and
Tweaking it.
just keep, just,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, cleaning it and whatnot. But inbound,
Mm.
it needs time. It needs
Yeah.
time, it needs patience, it needs resources who are constantly working on it. So you need
Yeah.
people, if they're giving you shortcuts, like, give us 3 months, or give us 2 weeks or
Mm.
3 weeks, that's a big lie.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
inbound, you need time, you need the right team.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Shawar. I won't take up any more of your time. So there you have it, guys. We've brought you, the proof is in the pudding, and as Shawar pointed out, that inbound does work, but you have to have patience. You need to understand it will take time, and the most important part, that's a huge challenge for us as a marketing agency, is that constant feedback, right? If we are sitting in a silo, we're sending forward leads and we're happy with we're ranking for keywords, we're sending leads, but then they're not being followed out. There's no funnel in place in the sales part, or we're not receiving feedback that, hey, that the leads that you're sending our way are not what we want, or this is what needs to be tweaked. Then all of the efforts that you've put in, the resources that you've put in, would be useless. So I think that's very, very important. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Shawar, for giving us your time. I think this has
Thank you
been
for
like an
having me.
interesting conversation,
Yeah.
and hoping to see Mile grow even more, and
Inshallah, yes.
hoping for us to be a part of the journey. Thank you so much. Bye,
Definitely, inshallah.
Shawar.
Thank you, Zanara. Take care. Bye bye.